Hello and happy new year. Today I'm going to be talking about 20 goals I have set myself for 2020. That may seem like a lot of goals, and I think everybody should have 1, 2, maybe 20 goals. I think it's important to go into the new year feeling renewed. The way we sometimes go wrong with this is when we put loads of pressure on ourselves and make ourselves feel like if we don't reach those goals then we have failed. I think it's really important to have goals, as many as you like, as long as you kind of start those goals, or as long as you kind of think about those goals. I think that's all that matters. I'm very much not really a perfectionist, and so I think that's why I find setting goals really good for myself, because it helps me to think about new goals and it helps me to start new projects or whatever it is, but I never really get fixated on it. But obviously only you know kind of how you feel around these things. Maybe you are somebody that's more of a perfectionist, and so maybe setting goals isn't the best thing for you. I think just when it's New Year, I always feel this like kind of renewed, refreshed kind of feeling, and I really enjoy it. I don't know if it's also because at Christmas we kind of tend to get some new like toiletry products, we get some new clothes or whatever it is, and so you feel like everything is quite new, and then you go into a new year and you have new ideas and new goals. So that's kind of why I want to film this video. I filmed the same video last year. 2019 for me was a really big year. I have become, at the very end of 2019, I have become fully self-employed. I did loads of really cool, interesting things in my work, and I also really just developed a really interesting, good new bond with myself, where I always put myself first in every situation. I think that's what I'm going to be making a lot of videos on this year, because I learned a lot about myself and a lot about my anxiety and a lot about how I should be treating myself in order to get better or move forward, or whatever kind of wording you want to use around that. So that's something I really want to do this year, is to make videos on that, to talk about what I learned last year. But 2019 in general was a pretty good year for me. I didn't have as many panic attacks. I started to accept myself more, I started to be more assertive, and just believe in myself a bit more. However, there was definitely really difficult parts of 2019 as well, and that's just going to come with every single year. No matter what, there is going to be difficult parts of 2020, so I think as long as we can make it as positive as possible, then that's great. Anyway, I'm going to get into the 20 things I am going to set myself, or the 20 ideas that I'm going to try and include in my life in 2020. So I'm going to get straight into the goals. I have some goals that are kind of more anxiety goals that I want to try and just work on or think about, and then I have more personal and work ones. So I just thought if I shared these with you, maybe you would have an idea of some of the goals that you wanted to achieve. So my first goal is to declutter loads. I started decluttering a little bit last year, but I feel like my flat always feels like a mess. I always feel like my flat is such a mess, and that is because I have so much stuff. It's difficult because I also have OCD, so getting rid of things can be really difficult for me, but that is the general goal. I'm also going to be making videos on this to kind of talk about decluttering with OCD, etc. So that is definitely a massive goal, because I think if my space was more decluttered, I would feel better. My second goal is to watch less TV, and this was on my New Year's resolution last year, and I just don't think I think there was a couple of days that I really kind of honed in on this goal, and then the rest of it I was just like TV. It's kind of a bit of a response for me, because I grew up watching so much TV, so it just feels like that's just always there in the background. Even when I'm editing videos and I have the sound on to edit the videos, I have the TV on in the background. Do you know what I mean? It's just an automatic like comfort response, and I really want to try so hard and get rid of watching TV. Not completely, but a lot of it. My next one is to craft/create more. I think thinking back to when I was a child, I loved nothing more than sticking and cutting and drawing and colouring, and just like I really loved that kind of stuff, and I still love it. But I think when you get older, if something's not making you money, or if something is just for fun, that comes to the very end, because you need to make money, you need to see your friends, whatever it is. I think things that you really just enjoy just because you enjoy it goes to the back, and I really want to push that forward and learn a new craft or just create more things, learn how to knit new things or whatever it is. I want to make an effort to, instead of watching TV, learn a new craft. My next one is to cook more. This is kind of like, I don't have a choice, I have to cook more, honestly. Especially like in December, November, it's just been like, I've gotten so many takeaways, and when I've not had a takeaway, I've just been buying like pasta ready-made or like pizza ready-made or whatever it is. I've just not been eating well, and then obviously I start to feel unwell, then I start to feel anxious. And I think it's just really important to learn to cook for yourself. Hopefully I will enjoy it, and I'll enjoy the way I feel after learning to cook a bit more. So that isn't even a goal, that is a have to learn to cook more. My next one is to work on my OCD. This is something that's very personal and something that if you have OCD doesn't have to be on your list. I've never had something like this on my list, I don't think, but this year I have some ideas on how I want to work on my OCD, and I will be talking loads about it on my channel and stuff, but yeah, this could be a really tricky one, but I really want to talk about that more in another video. But one of my goals is to work on my OCD. Another anxiety goal is to stay over somewhere that's not in my flat. I think in 2019 I stayed in my flat pretty much every single night, maybe once or twice at my parents' house, but this is just my comfort zone now. This is just where and it's really nice to have somewhere where you feel safe and comfortable and it's your space, and it's just, I just absolutely love it. But I think it's important for me to kind of push myself a little bit more. Even just staying at my boyfriend's house, I've never stayed there, and it's probably like a 5-10 minute walk from my house. So that's definitely one of my goals this year, to stay over somewhere that's not my flat, even just once. I just want to prove to myself that I can do it. My next goal is to read 25 books. This year I think I read 20, maybe 21 books, and I love reading so much. My favourite thing to do in the whole world is to read in the bath with a nice bath bomb. It's just my favourite thing ever. And this year I kind of started to understand what kind of books I like reading, so I want to read 25 books, which is a lot. It's like 2 a month, but I've got a plan on how I'm going to do that, which I will talk about in another video too. My next one is a bit of an anxiety one, and that is not to worry as much about being tired. One of my major anxiety things that has really stopped me is, oh, I can't do that thing because in 2 days time I'll be doing something else, so I'm too scared that I'm going to be tired. For me, being tired means that I will be anxious, more likely to have a panic attack, more likely to get ill. So I will not do something when I have something that's coming up the next day or 2 days time. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I am really, really funny about how much energy I give to things, which is really good, but I think it is becoming a disadvantage because I will say no to things that I actually really want to do because I'm scared that I'll be tired the next day. My next one is to have a morning routine. I think, again, this kind of comes into the TV thing a little bit of when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is turn on the TV. Then I'm less likely to get stuff done because obviously I'm watching TV. And I don't realise how much time that actually takes up, because I think, oh, but I put the TV on in the background, but then there are like 10 minutes, 20 minutes where you just are zoned into the TV or whatever. And now that I'm self-employed, I want to have a proper morning routine every single Monday to Friday. And I want to include things that make me feel really good in it, like walking or like going to get a coffee or whatever it is. I want to have a really proper morning routine that I know every single morning I'm going to be doing that. And I think that will reduce my anxiety as well, because routine is really good for anxiety. My next goal is to be more active. This definitely does not mean exercise like in the gym and stuff like that. I just want to, again, I think if I was more active I would feel so much better. And I do have a bit of a plan for this. I have a friend who I'm going to teach her a little bit of social media stuff, and she's going to give me yoga classes. So I don't have to pay for yoga classes, which are super expensive, because I think that's one of the things that's been putting me off those kind of things, is I don't really feel like I can afford to pay for a yoga class every week or twice a week or whatever it is. So I want to do that, and then I also just want to go for more walks, which I think will also help in the agoraphobia kind of section of life. If I just walk just a little bit every day and maybe try and push it just a little bit every week or so, I just think that's going to be really good for my mental health and my physical health. My next one is to do small challenges, and by this I mean like waking up at 6 AM for a week and seeing how I feel, or trying to drink 2 litres of water every day for a week, or whatever it is. I just want to do when I think things are starting to get boring or things are starting to get too similar, or I want to try something new. I want to try and do small challenges. whether that's no TV for a week or whatever. My next goal is to focus on work. I feel like last year I planted a lot of seeds in the work department, and this year I want to keep going with all of them and then maybe add some new things in as well. I want to really upload as many videos as I can. I want to maybe get some more clients. I don't know, just have a work schedule 9 to 5 Monday to Friday-ish and really stick to that. My next goal is to write more. I think this is just like a classic, we all want to write more, we all want to read more, we all want to be more creative. But I did do a little bit of NaNoWriMo last year, so I wrote probably about 10,000 words in November on like just a writing project that I have about mental health and stuff. And I really enjoyed it and I really felt so productive, and there was some bits of it that were absolutely awful that I was just like, this is rubbish. There were some parts of it that I was like, oh, that's actually quite good, and maybe if I kept going with that it could turn into a proper good idea. So I want to write more. I don't have a specific goal of how many words or how many days or whatever, just want to generally write more. The next one is to gently push my boundaries. Emphasis on the gently. I think that when you are in a certain scenario, for example if you're agoraphobic, if you have emetophobia, if you have any kind of mental health illness, if you're like, right, I'm done with this mental illness, I am just going to get over it, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to drive 3 hours away, that isn't going to work. I've tried that. It ended really badly. Maybe it will work for you, and there's always room for really amazing things happening and anxiety just kind of going away, whatever it is. But I think generally speaking, we need to be really kind and gentle to ourselves. And yes, we want to push our boundaries and we want to get to the destination that we want to get to, but we need to do it alongside our anxiety. We need to do it where we feel safe. If we're putting ourselves in an extremely unsafe situation where we feel really not okay, it isn't going to work. If I get to the end of 2020 and I've not felt able to go on holiday or my parents go away or whatever it is, that's alright. There's 2021, there's 2022. There's always going to be more time, but the relationship you build with yourself is the most important thing. My next one is a fun one, and that is to swim in the sea. This year, on the hottest day of the year, me and my friend went in the sea and we properly swam, and it was the best feeling in the world. And there's lots of people around where I live. I live like 2 minutes away from the beach. It's amazing. And there's lots of people around me that swim in the sea very often, even in December and January. I don't think I'm there yet, but I think maybe in April or so I want to go and I want to swim in the sea. Even if it's just once, I really enjoy it. Maybe get a wetsuit, and that's one of my goals. The next one is to take a course/class. Where I work, there's always loads of courses and classes and stuff going on, and I already have myself booked into one in January, so I've kind of, you know, got that one underway a little bit, and it's an Action to Happiness course. So doing classes and courses, I think there's always going to be a class or course that fits you as a person. Whatever that is, it can be absolutely anything. And if you're somebody that's not really able to leave your house much at the moment, there's so many online ones. I'll actually leave a really good online one for anxiety down below, which I did, and it helped me so much. I'm going to leave that down below because I just absolutely loved it. But there's always going to be courses and classes that really fit you. Whether you're somebody that has wanted to do a creative writing course, there's going to be that. A teaching course, an art class, a pottery class. There's going to be something, and there's going to be something nearby you-ish. So yeah, I want to take more courses and classes and just work on that side of things a little bit. My next one is to learn things for work. So I work in social media, and there are so many social media classes and stuff like that online, and there's some free ones as well. So I want to, in 2020, work on that, because there are a lot of things about social media that I do not know, especially when it comes to things like LinkedIn or Facebook pages. I just kind of do Instagram and YouTube and stuff for myself and for the lovely community that we have, but I don't really do it as a strict job kind of thing. But when I have clients, I want to learn how to do it as a business for myself and for clients and stuff like that. So I want to learn more about my work. My next one is to wear what I like. I always have this thing of like, oh, I really love that outfit, I want to wear it, but I can't because it's too dressy uppy for today, or it's too dressed down for today, or oh, but there's that bit that maybe people will think this, or whatever. I just want to wear whatever I like because I like the outfit. Same with my makeup. I want to wear whatever makeup I want because I want to wear it. I just want to not think about what people think more, and nobody is actually thinking anything, nobody cares what you're wearing. But that's one of my goals, is to just be like, oh, I like that if I'm going to wear it today. My next one is to do more yoga. I already talked about that. I started doing yoga this year a little bit, and then I just completely stopped, and I have really awful stiff shoulders and top of my back, and I have neck problems. So I really just want to stretch more and do a bit more yoga. My last one is to be more kind. I think that I am a relatively kind person and love making new friends. I love thinking of ways to help other people, all that kind of stuff. But there's always times where you think badly about people, or you judge people too harshly, or whatever it is. In 2020, I really, really, really want to be less judgmental and more kind. So that was a lot of goals. Like I said, I'm taking these lightly, and they're just some ideas that I have been thinking about, and I will kind of look at this list every so often to try and work on them a bit. But hopefully there was a couple of ideas in here for you guys. If you were thinking about New Year's resolutions and you couldn't think of one that really fitted to you, hopefully there's one in here that inspired you to create new goals. As long as you are creating goals with no pressure on yourself, just to try and improve yourself and improve your life, that is the main thing. Failure is not a word I will ever use or like to use. So if you don't meet your goal, try and work towards it, or try and think about starting it. It doesn't matter what the results are, as long as you're kind of trying to improve yourself a little bit. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Bye!